Hello there, I'm Sir Fancy and welcome in this tutorial where I will show you how to set up VR gun with reloading system. Let's of course start with looking at what you will end up with, because everyone hates tutorials where you don't know what it will be. So you can see that you can pick up that weapon and on the top of it, it will show you the amount of ammo that is left, and right now it's 0, but if I reload it, just like this, it's set to 7, and now with trigger button I can shoot whatever I want and reload it again. Important thing is that I'm using VR expansion plugin, so if you don't have it yet, don't worry, it's for free, you can download it and I have a video for that and also a few more tutorials if you want to learn more, all in the description. So let's get to it. We will start in Blender because we need to prepare our mesh a bit. If we want to use same gun as I'm using, it's from 3D Model Heaven, you have a link in the description, it's for free, you can use it for commercial game, blah blah blah, you know, all that stuff. So let's get rid of it and look at that mesh. So important thing is that it needs to be separated to two different meshes. First one will be Glock body and the other one is just a barrel. Barrel needs to be separated simply because we will want to move it like this and reload it. You can of course separate as well this one, which means magazine, if you want to have it movable and changeable and all the fun stuff. In this tutorial I will work only with a barrel. So let's select it all and export it somewhere. And now finally in Unreal Engine I'm using same template project that I've modified in previous tutorials, and let's import here our Glock or whatever weapon you are using. Let's go in meshes in basic content browser and we will put here this Glock. You can import it just as it is, it's not a skeletal mesh, even though you can play with it as a skeletal mesh. For example, if you were doing crossbow, not a crossword. So what we will do is to find this pickup cube, that's my favorite base blueprint, right click on it and browse to asset. That will find it for us, right click on it again and duplicate it. Let's call it gun, or to be precise BP_gun. I wanna hide P, set enter and put it into AA files, which is folder I created before. Alright, now what we will do is double click on it. And first of all we will need to change this static mesh component. And we will change it to new gun, which I believe was called Glock, and we will use Glock body. And you can see it's a bit too small, so let's resize it to 1. And we have different materials, so let's just click on this yellow arrow. If you are using your own materials, which you probably should, it wouldn't look that nice unless you are doing super hot or something like that. To have it just white. Let's put it in the game, and I'm afraid it will be still a bit too small. Oh, maybe not, we will see. So what we will do now is to maximize it and click back on viewport, right here. And we will add one of the components from VR expansion plugin. So let's put here VR, okay, let's just put here slider, and it is VR slider. Compile, and we will add here the other part of the Glock barrel. And it fits right here, look at that. Click on VR slider, and what we will do here is to adjust the slide distance it can travel. Right now it's set on x-axis, but if you look at it, x-axis is this red one and we want to move it along this green one, which is y. So we will set x to 0. We could eventually say this one, but in that case it would move forward, which we don't want. So what we will do is to set it right here in minimum slide distance, and we will set it to, let's say, -150. And the only thing we can do now is to test it, of course. And you can see that I was right, it's a bit too small. So let's take it to like this. And what we will do is just test this magazine, or no, it's not a magazine, just this moving part. So we will take it and move it, okay, way to back. So we will need to adjust a lot of things here, but general idea is that it works, look at that. Well, it doesn't, but you know what I mean. Let's get back to it. So we will start by scaling it back up. Well, not the backup, but up. And here click on static mesh component, which you could rename if you want. Oh, you actually can't, it's inherited. Doesn't matter. Let's scale it to, you know what, actually let's do 2 times. This will be probably overscaled, but we will at least see everything better. Oh, that's fine. And the other thing was that it was moving way too back, this minimum slide distance. Let's try like -50. And another thing we can do just to make it a little bit easier for us now is to click on the static mesh component and disable the simulate physics. So right now, thanks to this code setup, it will simulate physics only after it was held. So it will be simpler to pick up from the start. Okay, it's way too big, but it doesn't matter, we are testing stuff out. We will kind of move forward and let's click on VR slider and we will click on slider finished, LARPing, I hope so. And we will print here, print string, and that string will be our final progress, just to see how it is. Set it to, let's say, -5 should be fine, I believe. And one more thing here, I used the wrong node. We will have to use on-slider hit point and just change it. It's on-slider finished, delete it and connect it just here. Now let's test it. Pick it up and let's move it. And you can see that it works much better. And it also showed us some value on the left up corner, which you can see on the screen much better than I do. But I believe that if I move it forward, it's on 1, and if I move it back, it's 0. Yeah, we will need that for later. It's a surprise tool that will help us later. Alright, just a quick fix. Static mesh component, set scale to 1.5. Maybe VR slider set even lower, -4. And that's about it. We don't need to take care about anything else right now because we will start shooting. Because before reloading you need to shoot your ammo out. So for that we need to go back in the AA files and vive pawn character, which is just regular pawn that I am using from this template. Let's double click on it and we will have to use some input. I will actually create new one just to make it simpler. Let's go to edit, project setting, input, and we will add here action mapping. Click on that plus button. Let's add here trigger _ shoot 360 no scope. That sounds about right. And as that button we will set trigger, and I'm using Oculus Quest, so it means in my case it will be R trigger because I want to shoot only with right hand. But if you are using different headset, you need to find your triggers basically. So Oculus Touch R trigger. Let's actually put it on _R. Or I can, you know what? Let's simplify it. We will be able to shoot with both of these triggers. Let's add here a new one and just put here Oculus Touch left trigger right here. Oh, that sounds good. So now back in our vive pawn, what we will do is to go into event graph. This all looks nice, but we are not gonna do anything with that. Right click, and what I will do is find our input, which was called, I believe, trigger _ shoot _ 360 no scope. That's about right. And from there we will get actor of class. That class will be a gun, PP gun, and if you have different guns or do you want to have several types of guns, you can use tag system that generally fix it, or just different blueprints, all up to you. So compile, and from there we will take event, but that event hasn't been created yet. So let's open BP gun, right click, and are we in event graph? Make sure that we are. We will add a custom event, and custom event will be shoot him, shoot that, just shoot it. And after that, what we will do is to create actor from class, and that actor we need to find. We actually already have some actor in this template, and you can simply find it if you click on this gun base that has been added by creator. It will be somewhere here, first person projectile. If you click on it, we can find it and see that it is just set simple projectile with collision component. So if you want to add your own, you can look into that, how to set it up. Super simple. So let's click on vive. No, we will click back on gun, and right here we will spawn first person projectile. Wonderful. Now we need to also set up. Okay, let's deselect it right now. Compile, and we need to set up spawn transform for that. So let's click on viewport and we will simply add here an arrow that will work as a reference for spawning something. It's a bit too big, so let's scale it down and put it from where you want to shoot. Usually that's something right here in front of that weapon. So let's put it into 90 degree. Sounds about right. Go to event graph, take it, get world transform, right click on return value, split structure pane, again split structure pane, and we'll connect on the location and rotation because we have changed scale in this arrow. So that should be about right, and connect it right here. So now what it will do, of course, first of all we need to get back to our 5 pawn character and take it from here and just shoot. So now what it will probably do, which we can even test without putting headset on hopefully, is that it should just shoot just like that if I press the trigger. And yes, you can see that once I press any of these triggers, it shoots these wonderful weird balls, which is kind of weird because I don't have it in my hand, as you can see, and we will fix that right now. Let's get back to AA files and we will click on PP gun. Right here you can see that it will shoot just anytime it takes that input, which we won't change, but we will add here and branch. And that will simply ask, is it in hand? And we already have set up some conditions for that. You can see that if you don't lick it, guys, don't lick it. After this event set health, it sets gripped to true, which is a variable that we will use right here. Let's simply connect it here. And that means once this weapon will be picked up, it will enable it to spawn this shoot thing. But that's not everything, of course. It's super simple to set it up like this. So now we will set up sort of a reloading system after moving this back. So for that we will need to create a new variable. That variable will be ammo, and we will set it to float. And let's set default value to 0. That's fine. And yeah, actually integer would be better, but it doesn't really matter. So what we will do here is to use this hit point VR slider. And if you remember, we set it up, or it shows us that if you move it back, it will set it to 0, this value, which it will create, this slider progress point. So it will set it to 0 once it hit this -4 point, and set it to 1 once it hit this 0 point. And we will use exactly that. So let's go here and put here a branch. Delete this string, don't need it anymore, even though you can use it for testing still, of course. And let's take this slider point and we want it to be even to 1. Oh, equal float. So let's set it to equal float, and that equal float should be 1. Then connect it to condition, and once this will be set to true, we want to set our ammo to 7. I'm not sure if Glock has actually 7 bullets. I think it has a bit more. Doesn't it have 13? Whatever, just press the like button and let me know how many ammunition does Glock have. Right, time to stop wasting time and go back here, because we will add one more thing, and that's text. And this component, let's scale it a bit down, 0.2 at maximum. Rotate it a bit and put it right here, because I want here to have sort of a thing that will show me how much ammunition, whatever that is, I still have. So let's put it here, and what we will do is let's put it here, and we will actually put it under VR slider, because I want it to move with the slider. You don't need to, all up to you. And what we will do here is on event begin play, which we don't have here, so let's add it. Event begin play, move it down here, even it should be probably up because it's begin play on start. All right, I'm bubbling again. So we will take this text and set it to set text, and the text will be set to this ammo. Okay, come on, mate, get ammo and connect it right here. All right, to text, and let the setting as it is. Okay, compile and connect it here. And because I will use it quite often, I will just convert it to macro, or just note. Let's simplify it. I will set it to set ammo to text. Oh, come on, can't I even spell text? Double click on it and also set here output pin because we may possibly need it later. And now back to event graph. So now what we will also do is to change the text every time you shoot. So let's go here. Oh, no, what am I doing? Copy it, paste it, and put it here again. And I'm thinking about it now, macro would be probably better, but it's not really important to be honest. So this thing will always change the text right here back to our remaining ammo, but we also need to set our ammo once you shoot. So that means we will go here and set our text. So take ammo, put it here. Come on, mate. Take it here, set it, and take it one more time and get it this time. I will set it ammo minus float, which means ammo minus 1. Somehow put it there and connect it before this. Oh, no, what am I doing? We will connect it to this. Compile. And one more thing we need to do is to check if it has enough ammunition for it to shoot. So we will add here another branch. Let's just copy this one, but we will change the condition, of course. Again, it must be set to true. Move this all down. And what we will do here is take our ammunition, get it, and we need to make sure that it's bigger than 0, I believe. Once it is bigger than 0, you can shoot. So from the start, you won't be able to shoot unless you reload. Oh, and it should by default set our text to this. Hopefully everything works just as it should, and let's test it out and see if I'm not just lying to you all this time. Alright, now in VR, time to test it. Let's take it up. And you can see that we already have here this text, even though it's kind of off. Doesn't matter. Well, it does, but let's ignore that. Also, if you want to have a better grip than this, like 2-finger holding a weapon, I have a tutorial for that. So you can check it in the description. And in the tutorial, you can also learn how to take off this magazine, put it away, put the new one, add some additional things to that, etc., etc. But we are here for testing this thing. So now, if I shoot, nothing happens. So let's take this, move it back, and back forward. And nothing happened, but we can shoot. And I know why nothing happened, it's alright, because once I shoot, you can see that the text with ammunition was changed. I can shoot a few times, do something really weird with that car. Now I can shoot anymore, but the last number here is 1, which shouldn't be, so we will fix that in a while. But if I reload again, I can shoot again. So first, just aesthetically, let's change the space of this text. I want it to have in right in the middle of it, so you can see that right location here was 0, so for that we will need to on Y set it to 0 as well. And the next thing was once you reload, we want to of course set ammo to text. Hit point slider there. We are setting ammo to 7, so we also need to set it to text. Oh come on, why is it 2 of them? Double click on it. I really should have used macro, my bad. And compile it. So the thing why it didn't shoot on 1 was because it was set that ammo must be bigger than 1, which it isn't if it's 1, of course. So we simply need to change it to either set this number to 0 or set here equal or bigger or equal than 1. So we will set it to 0, even though usually it's better to use the equal sign. Now let's test it one more time if it works. Now I can shoot. By the way, text is still kind of weird. We'll do something with that. Reload. Set to 7. 7 shots. Shot. All of 7 shots this time around. Reload. Works just fine. I can shoot. You can of course add the other conditions if you want to also change the magazine before reloading, etc., etc. You should be able to do that by yourself without any problem. Alright, that's about it. I hope that this tutorial was helpful for you. Now you can reload your gun and do anything you want. If you also want to add attachments to your weapon and change that magazine, blah blah blah, I have a tutorial for that, link in the description, and somewhere here was definitely I that you could click on, etc. I hope that this tutorial was helpful for you. That's about it from me. I'm Sir Fancy and I'm leaving. I usually say I'm out, but I'm gonna be in this time around. Alright, I should really quit it. See ya.